Hey, good morning, Internet. We were talking about oceans, oceans and mining, because this is the next major concern. It's going to be the next major environmental concern. The oceans already are for the food sources there, but the amount of mineral wealth on the seabed is amazing. The ocean covers 2/3 of the planet roughly, maybe a little bit more now that the Arctic ice cap's melting. So there is a rush for mineral resources. It is rather amazing. A lot of it's not focused here because to harvest the resources, you need ships. And you need massive ships and you need support ships. So if you go looking about the internet, you'll find the construction projects. You'll find ship pipe laying systems. You'll find maps of some of the already existing deep seabed mineral harvesting we're doing for the oil fields that have been out there for decades. These are mega structures. They're bigger than the pyramids. They're modern miracles and just massive, massive undersea systems that span miles with pipes in between, all under the sea where you can't see it. So that's one aspect, is the drilling aspect. Another is surface mining, where basically those big open pit mines that you see elsewhere are done underseas and nobody sees them. So the mineral wealth is there. The mineral wealth of the ocean alone. During World War II, a plant down in Texas harvested either magnesium or titanium, or probably both, from seawater. So I mentioned before about isotopic abundances, and go look at the isotopic abundance of magnesium or titanium in seawater. The amount, it's an electrolytic process to remove it. The amount of energy that you need to do something like that is, well, in Texas's case, it was coal-fired plants and some nuclear plants. So that huge industrial machine down there needs a lot of power, and some of it generates internally because of exothermal stuff going on. So we harvested tons. I don't have the volumes. I've seen the plant. I've been to the plant. So we harvested tons of minerals from seawater by pumping billions and billions of water through processes to harvest those tiny little pieces of element out of the seawater. For the cost of it, no one could do that but the government. There's no way. It was all private companies, mind you. Take note. But the government funded this work. So we had titanium for the war effort until we found better ways and better places to recover it. But that was one of them. Massive facility, just massive. Matter of record, matter of history. You can find the links. So this ocean mining has been going on for decades and decades. It's a conversation about, succinctly to today, about blowout preventers. A failed blowout preventer allowed more than a few accidents out at sea and on land because they apply in both places. But because that blowout preventer at sea is underwater, you can't do maintenance on it and repairs like you can on the ground. Well, you can, but it's very expensive. So Yeah, they chose not to do maintenance on a blowout preventer. They were in backup modes or something, and those failed. And poof, we have an oil well disaster in the Gulf. So this ocean mining is huge. If you saw that Gulf disaster and watched all the amazing undersea vessels that were on that, none of them were American. They were all out of Scandinavian countries. They've been doing this work, this research for decades. They're helping build Russian oil fields and our oil fields. So, to the mineral wealth of the planet, you'll notice, go back in your notes, see where Rex Tillerson went and was and what he was doing. Exxon oil executive, is the head of state, spent the bulk of his time working with Russia. Very little was said about it, offered about it, but the bottom line is the Russian oil is part of the world's supplies, and frankly, someone's managing it, or wars will be fought. Someone's making these negotiations, these politics of our planet. And frankly, we've got some rights to this because we stand on it. So that's where I stand on water. Water is the single most important resource on the planet, and every bit of how it flows through and across the planet matters. It is more sacred to life than almost any other element. The CO2 conversation acidifies the water. The pollutants change the water. The water transports life all across this planet. The water in the air provides the humidity that creates the rain. The H's and the 2 H's and the 3 H's. The hydrogen. The deuterium. What's the third one? Doesn't matter. It's there. So we're debating settled, well-settled history over social issues while the planet's being dug out from under our feet. So what am I saying? People should understand the age of our planet. Is that the lesson? So ocean mining, it's a big thing. We're not hearing anything about it. And yet in some countries it's on the front paper because their industries are building ships and designing ships and traveling to China to build the ships and traveling to Asia to build the ships. These manufacturing powerhouses that we're building warships. Our lessons have been made too shallow, maybe. Or I'm too old. All right, hey, this was supposed to be morning coffee and half light. One of these days, I'll finish patching that wall and put curtains up. So, here we are on the same planet. We're debating undebatable history. We're debating undebatable knowledge of our planet. We're debating true or false statements that were never true or false. We don't know, or we have some confidence, or we have an idea, or we don't. Let's go fix that. Let's go learn. I don't. So where do we go? We're going to spend trillions of dollars on nuclear weapons that kids have no idea what they are. Somewhere in our arsenal is a neutron bomb. Might be in a computer. Might be on paper somewhere. Might have a valid use somewhere in our future. A future that everyone has a right to. All right. See, keep going deep. Is this healthy? You tell me. This is a big part of, growing up. Decades of watching the world around you. Hey, love, peace out, be good.